is going to be Methodist University. That's here at the Herman Athletic Center, and then Greensboro College to round out their schedule, as we've got Coach Shields ready to sit down with us. And there we go, box score. All right, so Coach, unfortunately, another instance in which can't put 40 minutes of basketball together. You guys looked great in the second half. What was going on in the first half? 18 points at halftime. I mean, easily the lowest scoring at the break that you guys have been all season, maybe even in the program's history. Yeah, it may be. I think it might have been a little bit. It was a tough trip this weekend, just playing those two games so far away from home. But not an excuse. They had to make a long trip on Saturday as well. And so just another, same song, different day. We, got behind 20 and then decided we want to start playing with some fire and some passion. And it's really hard to do that in our league and come back and win games. I mean, we fought back and got it to a tie game with 4 minutes left. But it's just got to be, we can't keep doing the same things over and over again. We got to learn to change. So that in mind, what was the message to the guys when you guys got in the locker room? The message was we have to find a way to, even in the last 4 minutes, I thought tonight that we expended so much energy coming back that it was really difficult for us we just didn't execute. A couple things, I called a couple options, and then defensively, things that we go over, we just weren't able to, execute down the stretch. And it's the message was, with how we talk about our goals, we talk about, accomplishing 4 of them. I mentioned on here before, every single day. I don't know if necessarily they believe that right now, because I think we're getting caught up in the season having not gone like we've wanted it to, looking at our record or whatever it may be, or where our conference standings are. We don't look at that. We're trying to get better. And tonight was the first time in a while, until we made that comeback, where I didn't think we got better. And that was frustrating for me as a coach, because we're working. I thought we did that this weekend. We handled it better on the road, not playing well, because we didn't play well either game this weekend, but we're in both of them. And then tonight, it's been, at home this year, it's been a struggle to play. We got down 15 to Covenant, 15 to Maryville. Our biggest deficits have been at home. And so I got to figure out a way to get these guys to come out with some more fire. I mean, if we have to press for 40 minutes, we'll do it. But we got to find a way to do it, because, even though it's not my goal, it's their goal to make the conference tournament. We can still do that. I don't know what the results of the game were tonight, but, frankly, with how we played or are playing right now, like, why would you want to make it? You're going to go and get down 20 and then fight back and then probably lose. And so it's about us reaching our potential. And, we're not doing that. I'm not doing that as their coach, so I got to find a way to get it done. Well, I do want to talk about a very, very bright spot for you guys tonight in Chris Thomas. And I got to say, I was a little worried about him over the weekend. I know he's an avid Panthers fan. Yeah, so I'm glad to see him make the emotional rebound here and be able to play well. What got into him tonight? I think 26 out of his 28 were in the second half. I mean, he was a man possessed down the stretch. One of the best things that I can say about Chris is that he is we spend a lot of time coaching him. I spend a lot of time coaching him, but he always responds. He's a great kid. He knows the game really well, and I think he channels when he's mad at me onto the court, which is awesome. I'm going to go get him so upset before next Wednesday night. But he has always responded, and he got into one of those zones tonight, which showed his potential as a player. I'm excited because he had 28 and only took 3 threes. That's something we've been harping on, is that we want you taking more free throws than threes. And he was really aggressive and got us back in that game, almost single-handedly. Obviously everybody contributed to it, but he played very well. I don't know if that was a career high for him, but no, it wasn't. I think he had 30 in a game last year, but a very good game from him. And so I told him it exists in our locker room. We just got to find a way to get it done in the last 2 games. So second in the team in scoring with 10 was Sam Johnson. And I know he's been seeing a lot more minutes as of late and is really taking advantage of that. Of course, he got his second Rookie of the Week honors this past week, and then comes out in this one, hits the big 3 down the stretch.
I know, his other Rookie of the Week honor was toward the beginning of the season. So is it a matter of, if you play him more minutes, he's going to do more, or has there really been that much kind of growth throughout the season with him?
I think there's been growth, and he's had a little bit bigger of a role because guys have been struggling who have been playing the same position as him, and so that's something. And he works really hard. He's not perfect, but once again, we don't preach perfection. We preach, moving on to the next play and playing as hard as you can, which he does, which is really awesome. He is going to be a really big piece of our future, and he's getting a lot of reps as a freshman, which is great. But with freshmen, when you have them in the end of the game, execution's not there. But by the same token, tonight we finished the game with, that's usually who we finish games with, and three of those guys have played some really big minutes for us.
Right.
Chris, Jalen, and Ryan. And so, they've been there. But there's no more fuel to the fire than if you can just find a way to, when you keep losing, at some point you got to say enough is enough.
So I think in terms of, say, a Pacers fan wasn't able to tune in for the broadcast and didn't see the whole game, something they might raise an eyebrow at, it's unfamiliar for them, is you see that 6-minute mark for Nate Strother. Was anything in particular going on with him? Matchup problems here? Just the fact that maybe Sam's playing so well?
Well, we decided, we had a great conversation about him coming off the bench. And then when he came in, I didn't think that he was ready to play. And I didn't think he was he came in, I don't know, he wasn't credited with a turnover, but it's really tough. He's not had the year he's wanted. I wanted for him more than anybody else. With all three of these seniors, what those guys, I just told them in the locker room, and what they've done and the choice they made 4 years ago to come to a young coach, a program that had never been before, they've been the cornerstone, right? They've been the team that, and the guys who have made it seem like, 9-14, 4-8, that's a disappointment. That's what they've created. And so, I love those guys. But it's just really hard to we want guys who are out there who have a fire, who have a passion, and it's hard to do that when you're not making shots. And that's something we've struggled with this year. We've got to be able to get guys who have that. So, we'll see. Hopefully, I want it more for him than anybody else to be able to get that fire back and have fun, because I don't think he's having fun out there, which is a problem. And that's a problem for us, too. We're not playing well. We're not having fun. And you got to find a way to be able to do that still.
Definitely.
It's still a game.
So you got 2 games left to have said fun. You mentioned a week from tonight, you guys have Methodist here, and then Greensboro to round out the season here. What's on tap for those? What do you expect?
Methodist, a very, very similar team to Ferrum, a team we lost to down there earlier this year. They're tough. They got seniors. They execute the way they want to play a little bit slower than us. So, what we talked about tonight with Ferrum was, hey, we got to win this game in the mud. And Ferrum's used to doing that. We weren't. We got adjusted to it, and so we got to find a way to get out of that mud. It'll be a big game, and then Greensboro obviously could be competing for a conference championship, so that'll be a tough one on Saturday. But we got to get back to the joy of playing. They all are playing basketball because they love it. I'm coaching because I love it. And it's frustrating to continue to, despite the deficits, come back and not be able to finish. But life's tough. You can't give up.
Right.
We're going to keep doing it, and we're going to keep, because we believe in the guys in our locker room. We believe in what we're trying to accomplish. So, I'm excited for them to have a day off tomorrow, and then for us to be able to get ready for Methodist on Wednesday.
Oh, I'll finish up, but I got to give you a hard time. What's going on with your heels?
Yeah, they're struggling. I don't think they're having fun either. I felt like, and I don't want to make light of his health, but man, sometimes when I'm yelling at my guys, it's crazy. Blood rushes to your head, and you're losing it.
Right.
But that was a great win last night, as crazy as it sounds, at Boston College when all that happened. I didn't get to watch it, but
you're right. There's a huge difference in letting that one go and taking the loss and pulling it out just barely.
Especially without your head coach out there.
Right.
So that was a good one. So hopefully that gets some turnaround. It's hard when you have such an experienced team to go through, for them, the doldrums of early February.
Yeah.
They're not going to, as bad as it sounds, they're not getting up to play Boston College.
Right.
They need to change it if they want to win that championship. But, yeah, we'll see what they got going the rest. Hopefully those Duke games will get them pumped up.
Yeah, there you go. That'll be next week at Chapel Hill, right? Yeah.
I bet it's Wednesday night at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, probably.
Because they'll probably be playing.
So you have to DVR it, TiVo or whatever. All right, Coach. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
All right. Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks. It's Coach Claude Shields of your William Peace University Pacers. Very introspective look there at kind of maybe what's in some of the guys' heads going on in the locker room. Obviously, the season not going out quite like they had planned, but still a chance to get the last spot or one of the last spots in that USA South Conference tournament. And if they do, I mean, we've certainly seen very, very bright spots out of this team. So I wouldn't